Is this better, General?
It is better, Chair.
Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon.
General, the testimony of Minister Mchunu, in his testimony he claimed that the PKTT has shown budget inefficiencies and rising costs. And for this reason, that was one of the reasons why he called for disbandment. Do you agree with him?
I have not discussed the budget of the PKTT with the minister as the CFO.
But based on your knowledge of the cost implications, do you agree with him?
As we had indicated on Annexure B and a comparison that we had made, these are the normal operational costs that interventions as well as task teams will incur in this regard to deal with crime patterns as well as crime threats that would have been identified by the National Commissioner working together with his operational teams. So these are the costs that we normally spend. However, it does not necessarily mean that if there is a task team that is established and funding is available, then there shouldn't be systems in place to ensure that there are efficiencies as well as cost control or cost containment in this particular regard. But when you look at other task teams there, depending on the decisions that would have been taken, whether to demobilize or to reduce the number of personnel that will have been deployed, these are some of the normal costs that we normally incur. And I take cue from the National Commissioner together with his operational teams, because they are the ones who are responsible to ensure that they prevent and combat crime in this country. If they sit in their operational meetings and they evaluate and they come to a conclusion.
Sorry, General, sorry. Just because the time is very short, does what you just explained, does it mean you agree or you disagree with the minister?
I would not know how the minister would have come to that conclusion without a report or an indication being made to him.
Well, he's making an allegation, and that's what we are testing here. He's making an allegation. You are the authority on saying whether that allegation is true or not. So he says the PKTT has shown budget inefficiencies and rising costs. He made an allegation. Now I'm asking you to either confirm it or not. You are the authority there to say, no, minister is wrong. There's no budget inefficiencies there.
I cannot confirm because the decision, operational decisions are taken by the accounting officer, unless if he would have engaged the accounting officer.
So you don't have a position, you don't have a position of agreement or disagreement with the statement, no? Okay, let's look at your statement in paragraph 13.3. Let's see whether it is indeed true that you don't have such concerns. Paragraph 13.3, you say that Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi made a submission that he signed for 58.5 million rand. And then you say, at the time, the DNC responsible for policing was General Masimola, who is now the National Commissioner. And he signed, and General raised the concern to say that there was 2 signatures missing, but it was submitted to your office.
Missing signatures.
You raised the concern here.
It's not a concern. I'm just articulating what was sitting on that submission.
Okay, so are you saying that that request did not require the signatures of...
It did. This is the record or the document that I do have.
So I'm asking you, if it did require, if the normal process is that those signatures are required, is that correct for them to do?
I did not raise any concern. The ultimate approval in terms of these expenses was done by the National Commissioner. From time to time, the operational environments, they evaluate these interventions, and they then are requested to put together either requests for funding or reports, progress reports to the National Commissioner. So I
Okay.
did not raise any concern in terms
Okay.
of this. It's just a document that I'm indicating that where this matter comes from, because for the purposes of testimony, I was to focus
Okay.
on PKTT. So I'm outlining the order of events in terms of
Okay.
what happened, when, who said what.
All right,
but
so it
I'm
wasn't
not
wrong
raising-
for them to do that. It wasn't wrong.
There would have been reasons why those signatures
Was
were
it wrong?
outstanding, but the ultimate approval was made by the National
Was it
Commission.
wrong to submit to you without signatures or not?
Documents must be signed by everyone.
So it was wrong.
For me, this is not raised as a concern.
It's fine,
I
but
need
was it
the-
wrong? Now that
check.
it's here, I'm asking you what's before me. Was it wrong?
Other signatures should have been found.
So it was wrong.
In terms of this document, if you put it that way, however, I want to emphasize that the allocation of funding to PKDT is approved by the accounting officer. Ultimately, the final allocation was approved by the accounting officer.
Okay.
So this is not raised as a concern.
Okay.
It is just explaining the order of events and
Okay.
where this PKTT comes from and the work that has been done and the discussions and
Okay.
the reports and a lot of documents that have gone
Thank you, General. Let's-
on in this regard.
Let's move on to your letter dated the 29th of September, 2020. Page 73. Page 73.
Yes,
Paragraph 3. Are you there?
13.7.
Well, I'm looking at your annexure bundle, page 73.
73.
Hey, Chair, you must pause the clock.
Next chair 73, I'm there.
Are you there?
I am chair.
Okay. As section 3.
Yes.
Would you agree that here you are raising concern?
Yes.
You are?
It was a letter that was addressed to the relevant line
Okay,
managers.
but you are raising a
Yes,
concern.
I am
All right.
raising concerns.
I just wanted to confirm so that we don't dispute on that. Let's deal with what your concern was. Number one, you say overtime expenditure in the 2020-21 financial year is not visible against the project code. ORA should correct such for transparency purposes.
Yes.
So it was wrong.
When projects and initiatives are put in place for purposes of reporting and transparency, I indicated that we create a project code and we expect all managers to then vest expenditure against that project code.
Yes.
Yes, they were wrong that for that particular period in terms of expenditure, that was not vested against that project code. So from a monitoring point of view and accountability, I could not see such. So I'm putting it to their attention so that they correct
You've done
that.
well. I
and
agree with you.
they did correct such.
I agree with you. You've
Yes.
done very well to raise that concern, to say this is a budgetary inefficiency,
Yes.
right? And that's what you're saying to them. That's what the minister has said in his testimony. Then you go further and you say overtime claims of most individuals deployed for the project depicted that 100 hours of overtime was worked for most months. Then you say even during lockdown, when movement restrictions were enforced in April and May, these individuals continued to work 100 hours of overtime.
Yes.
And then you also express concern that the overtime amount is high and it is adding to the pressure of the limited funding that's available to SAPS.
Yes, I raised those concerns with the Deputy National Commissioner.
You've done
This
very
is our
well.
policy.
You've done extremely well. And this now corroborates the allegation of rising costs.
But I did not write this letter to the minister.
That's
It
good.
was a letter that was written to the Deputy National Commissioner. These are the normal concerns that as CFO, when you monitor expenditure patterns, you will then
General,
deal
would you
with these
agree
particular issues.
that the letter doesn't have to be written to the minister for the allegation to be true? The allegation is true that the PKTT, based on your testimony,
I have not been called to present
you are
such
testifying today.
to the minister.
Well, you're testifying to us now, and your testimony is agreeing with the position of the minister.
I have not been called by the minister to present this analysis.
We're calling you, and in front of us, what you've given to us agrees with the minister.
I
Whether
do
the
not know where would the minister have gotten a brief.
It doesn't matter. I also don't know. What I know is the testimony of the minister and your testimony on the fact that the PKTT, there's budget inefficiencies and there is rising cost. Both of you are saying the same thing.
Chair, on my testimony, I've said these are normal concerns that we raise with the relevant managers, including the National Commissioner. They go back, they regroup, they then consider this, and they ensure that they assist us with efficiencies as well as cost containment. Together with the analysis of crime patterns and the situations that they're trying to sort out, then decisions, operational decisions are taken. And we get requests for funding, having taken those decisions by the accounting officer together with the relevant operatives, the accounting officer approves. It does not necessarily mean that when I raise this, they are not taken into account. If you look at other interventions, you will see a decline in terms of costs. It then tells you that managers would have set, evaluated, and decided to say, here we have stabilized, the crime threat is no longer visible, let us reduce the deployment in this particular regard. So these are normal decisions and conversations that take place in an organization, and the accounting officer accounts and is the ultimate approval in this particular regard. There would be progress reports that are compiled by the NCCF or the relevant project managers to the National Commissioner to say, yes, we hear the concerns. However, the work that we are doing, the situation that we are dealing with requires that we maintain these numbers, or requires us, we are satisfied that we have stabilized, we are hereby then sort of reducing the number of deployments. So these are normal things that we do as the police as we continue to do our work. But as CFO, it is my responsibility to monitor and raise these particular issues. It doesn't mean that when I raise them, then task teams must be closed. Doesn't mean that. And the closure of the task teams is not my decision. As I indicated, it's a decision of the National Commissioner, having considered that we wanted to deal with has been dealt with. I raise concerns every day on everything, not only on operations. We have cost containment policies that we have approved, that we expect each and every manager to assist us, that the resources that we have, as limited as they are, we are able to utilize them to ensure that we combat crime in this country and ensure that the people of this country are safe. It is my job.
But based on your professional opinion, you do testify today that what you've put before us is concerns of budgetary inefficiencies and rising costs, correct?
I've raised these concerns with the relevant line manager.
Is that answer yes?
I've raised these concerns, yes, with the relevant line manager.
All right. You say that you haven't spoken to the minister
About the PKTT.
but you had an opportunity to. In July 2024,
5 meetings to be precise.
but in July 2024, you did a presentation to him,
Yes.
correct?
It was July, it was August, we had September, we also had June this year.
Did you raise the issue of the PKTT with him?
No,
Could you have done so?
if I was requested.
Sorry?
If I would have been requested to do so.
So he needed to request for you to talk about
When we
it.
are
Whereas,
when
what was
we-
the purpose of the presentation?
When we are called to go and orientate the executive authority, we don't go there on our own. It will be a meeting that is coordinated by ministry through the Office of the National Commissioner, and you will be told that we are having a meeting with the executive authority and this is the purpose of the meeting, and you ought to prepare a report in terms of these requirements. That is why we indicated that in the first report, it was an introductory briefing to the minister. In the second report, it was financial matters pertaining to the police because the minister was new. We needed to orientate him. In the second briefing, then as and when you report, he will identify other indicators that he would want further information on. Issues, concerns such as issues that civil claims, issues of...
Did he ask you to tell him that crime intelligence needs capacity?
Yes.
He asked you to tell you that?
In the
He
meet-
asked you to tell you that? You
Sorry?
prepared the presentation.
Sorry? In
your presentation, you then go in detail in saying that crime intelligence needs to be capacitated.
as I indicated...
Now I'm asking you, based on that, in your presentation, did the minister, prior to you presenting, ask you to present on crime intelligence?
You would go and present, Chair.
Yes.
As and when you present...
So he
there are-
didn't ask you.
May I be allowed to conclude?
It's just because of my time, General.
You will be given indicators to say, we will have to have a follow-up meeting. These are the following indicators. I want you to touch on issues that talks to capacity.
General Dumpana, you stop speaking. May we please take Honorable James.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you, General.